Hello, this is Alan Campbell with TruckingOffice, and we are testing out the YouTube Go Live. So I thought what I'd do is jump on here live and see if we can do a successful live broadcast. And we'll just test the system out by demonstrating how to enter a load into the TruckingOffice software system. So once you have your subscription, you should be looking at your dashboard like this. The first step to putting a load in the system is to go to your load planner. This is where you plan your load information. You go right here. This is what it looks like. And then after you put in your load information, then you'll want to switch over to trips, and you'll dispatch this load by assigning it to a trip. And when you do that, your load information will go in here. It'll go out of the planning stage into an active stage. And then after the load's delivered, then it'll be ready to invoice. So you can see how this information just kind of moves through the system. So we're going to start out by entering in a planned load. So we'll add a planned load. Opens up your planned load form just like that. Custom load numbers, so some people use this, but this is not necessary. You don't need to. The things that are required are marked with an asterisk like this one here. To get more information on how to do things, there's a user guide on all throughout the app. There's this little information icon right here. If you click on that, it'll show you videos and give you some more information about how to get things done. So if you get stuck, you can always go watch a video or go to the user guide information. So the first thing you're going to need to know is who the customer is. Who are we hauling this load for? See if we already have a few customers in here. We can pick one. Who is our best customer? Well, I don't like any of those options, so I'm going to create a new one. If you don't have anything in your address book yet, you'll need to go ahead and add your customers as you go. But after you put them in the first time, then every time you go back to put in a load, they'll already be there. I'm going to put in Canton, Ohio. Okay, and then we could go down through this form and fill in all the details, but I'm just going to leave this blank for now. If you, you want to fill in your customer's address, depends on how much business you're doing with them, on how much detail you want to keep. If this is somebody you're doing business with all the time, you might want to keep all your details in here. If you're just doing one load for somebody, maybe not. It's up to you. Depends on if you want to be, if you're detail oriented or if you just want to streamline things. The next thing is after you get your customer selected in there, then you're going to want to put in your shipper and where this load's picking up. Now, maybe it's picking up at your best customer in Canton, Ohio. Then they're in your address book. You can just select them. You don't have to enter that again. So we'll put down that this thing picks up today, be October 26th. And then what information do you need about your pickup? Is there driver instructions? Is there an appointment time? Appointment at 2 p.m. maybe? Is there a bill of lading number? I don't know. If you know the bill of lading number, let's put that in. Sometimes the customer acquired info needs to be in there. Maybe there's a PO number. You know the weight. You can put in the weight. Sometimes you know these things when you're booking a load, and sometimes you don't know these things until after a load picks up. So you can put everything in there that you know at this time, go ahead and put it in, and then if you don't know it, you can just leave it blank, and then you can just save this. And then once you get all the information together, maybe you get the rate con or something, and you get the information, then you can always add that information later. Now in the consignee is where the load's going to deliver. So we're just going to deliver to a factory, I don't know, in California, let's say. And then we're just going to keep that simple and streamlined, and we'll go save that. And then when can we deliver in California? We're going to deliver on Saturday. Is that realistic? That takes us 5 days, five days to get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6 days. It's about 3,000. We might not. Well, let's say Monday. It'll give us a whole week to get to California. That's not the right date. That's giving us a whole month. We flipped over to November 30th. We didn't want to do that. November 2nd would be Monday. Let's go with that. And then driver instructions, appointment, ASA. Or let's do first come, first serve. Okay. And then how much do we get paid to go from Ohio to California? I don't even know. I'm just going to say $5,000. We're just making up some generic stuff we're going to keep that as a flat fee. The system can bill per mile, per hundredweight, per ton, per, certain quantities. Sometimes you get paid per pallet or something like that. But we're just going to keep this as a flat fee. And we'll say that, the fuel surcharge we can put in here as a percentage. Let's say we get an additional 15% fuel surcharge. Now, if it's 15%, I'm putting in 15 for the amount, and then the type will change to percent as opposed to flat fee. And then there are some places to put in some accessorial fees, but we're just going to leave that stuff blank for right now. And then we'll go ahead and save this. When we save this, this is saving this as a planned load. So after you save it, you'll be able to review all your information, and it's basically just what you entered already. Okay, so now when you have the planned load, like I said, maybe you're not sure about some of the details because you're waiting for the rate con to come in, or maybe you have several loads from a customer and you don't know which day you're going to pick it up. You can leave this stuff blank at the first time you put it in. Then you can update those details later if you want to. Then when you get all those details filled in, then you're ready to dispatch that load onto a trip. So let's go ahead and do that. Add this to a trip. When you add it to a trip, you're dispatching it. So you're going to assign it to the driver. I'm going to assign this one to myself. And when you assign it to the driver, if you use the driver before, if you're brand new, you have to set all this stuff up the first time. But after you've been using it, you'll just pick the driver. The last truck that was used was this one, and the last trailer that was used is this one. So this stuff is already in the system. It already knows what our last location was. It pulls that up. Then the load I was already looking at is pre-selected because I was looking at the load when I clicked create a trip. So it knows I'm dispatching this load, already pre-selected again. So that's really all there is to it. Now you have the option to add in some expenses for the trip and whatnot, but we'll get into that later. Right now we're just simply dispatching the load. And then we'll save that trip. And then we save that trip. It says successfully created right here. And then if we scroll down, we'll be able to see what's going on with this load. We know what driver's hauling it, what truck, what trailer, where we're picking up, where we're going to. We scroll on down. Again, more of the load details here. And then we've run the miles automatically with PC Miler. So for this trip, these are all the states to travel through and all the miles per state. Toll miles, non-toll miles, everything you need to know. Everything you need to know for rate per mile revenues, everything you need to know for IFTA. The system just keeps track of all that stuff for you. And then down here is our route. Our empty miles, our loaded miles, everything is all tracked. Our comments for the driver. Another neat thing is if you're using the TruckingOffice ELD, just by doing that, as soon as you hit create the trip, this would show up in the driver's mobile app, all this load information. So all of the pickup information, delivery information, appointment times, everything you entered in about the load would show up right in the mobile app for the driver. Not the rates and stuff, that stuff's for invoicing. But we're talking about the dispatch information that the driver would need to actually pick the load up and get it delivered. So that's kind of neat because you don't have to do anything extra. It just automatically happens. What was I going to show you back up here? Yeah. Okay, so then another thing about this is you have the planned load we created, then we had dispatched the load by adding it to a trip. The next thing is when the driver gets all this information on his ELD, then he'll be able to go get the load picked up, and then he'll be able to check off that the load is picked up. Then this load will show in transit. Then later when he delivers the load, he'll check it off delivered, and it'll be showing delivered, and then it'll be ready to be invoiced. So it's kind of handy to be able to see the different status options as the load's going through its status. Now, when you're looking at the list of loads now, you'll see this one that we just created is highlighted in yellow. That's because it's a load that delivers at some point in the future. and then green ones are loads that are delivering today. So if you have a list of loads that are delivering today, you can kind of check those off. And if you have loads that are delivered in the future, you can kind of monitor their status. But that's it. I just wanted to jump on a little YouTube live here, kind of see how it goes, go through the process of entering a load, assigning it to a trip. This is a new YouTube channel, so there's nobody on here to ask questions, but perhaps in the future we'll do some more of these, and maybe we'll give folks a chance to ask some questions. Maybe I could demonstrate some different ways of doing things. Everybody's got a little bit of a different operation, and a lot of times little questions come up. So, but if you come across this video, go ahead and throw a like on it for me. You can still ask questions in the comments even after the fact. I monitor this YouTube channel, so I can always come back and answer questions later on. But for now, I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks.